Hi, everybody. Diana here. Welcome in to Sew in Common, home of Build a Quilt, Patchwork in the Hoop. That's right. We do our patchwork quilting with the hoop of our embroidery machine and a little help from our sewing machine. So easy to do. And I'm so thrilled to have you all here today for Quilt Lab, which is our Sunday show. And today we're going to talk about the block, the card trick, because it is directly related to our diamond in a cross block, which is this month's block, which if you are a Quilt Lab subscriber, you will have gotten your code to get that. If you are not a Quilt Lab subscriber, you can get the whole pattern. The pattern comes in 3 sizes so that you can make an 8x8, a 9x9, or a 15x15 inch block. I'll tell you where all that's located a little bit later in our episode. So today, again, we are talking about, though, the card trick. And I had kind of planned this. It kind of worked out good because I had planned that for this week. And one of our great subscribers here at the channel had contacted me and asked me about the card trick block. And so I helped her out with a little bit of stuff, but I said, stay tuned for Sunday because we're going to talk all about the card trick. Alrighty, so let's take a look. Let's get started and let's take a look at this month's block, the diamond in a cross. Now, if you have been a quilter for a long time, you recognize this is kind of the card trick block, right? It's a very close first cousin to the card trick. And you can use this block just as it is to make your own card trick block, okay? So let's first of all, let me move this pin. I'm going to show you the actual card trick block before we talk about how you can use this one. Here we go. This is the card trick. I've got that little, is that better? That's a little straighter. Yep. So here is the actual card trick block. Now mine is a wee bit different. These 4 pieces right here should be this fabric technically, but I didn't have enough of it. So I used a teeny tiny Swiss dot. It's a red Swiss dot, really hard to even see on camera. However, I will say I like my 4 corners being different. It kind of adds even something more extra special to the overall block, I think. Again, one of those ideas, make lemonade out of lemons or whatever. I didn't have enough of this confetti fabric that I loved. These are all Kimberbell fabrics. I thought I had enough. I didn't, so I adapted, and I like how it turned out. But the base of the block, the card trick itself, it's all there. It's all the same, as it should be in the traditional card trick. It's 4 cards. So I think it stands for like the 4 suits, the hearts, the spades, the clubs, and the diamonds. Are those the 4 suits of cards? I've not played cards in such a long time. I used to love to play cards with friends when I was younger, but I haven't played in ages. But I think those are the 4 suits of cards, and I think that's what that stands for. So it looks like you're holding the 4 cards. That's kind of how I see it. So very, very easy to do. Just like with this month's block, you have 4 half square triangles, 4 modified half square triangles. But look at our center. It's different. Let's bring up this month's block. This month's diamond in a cross, 4 half square triangles, 4 modified half square triangles, diamond in a square in the center. Interesting. Okay. However, like I said, we can still use this as it is to make our card trick if you want to. But I'll show you how you can do this one exactly. So in the pattern that you have for this month, the diamond in a cross, Yes, this was, I had made a mistake originally. Yeah. Do you guys ever do that? And then I don't reprint them for myself. This is my prototype copy. So if you actually like saw all my stuff, you would see me writing notes and stuff. And then I go back and fix it for all of you guys in the final version. So mine never look as pretty as yours will. But you're welcome to make your own notes too, because that's the fun of it, right? So technically I have background fabric on all these outer edges. So your 4 pieces here will all be the same. These should be the same as these. But again, if you want to try it like this, go for it. I think it's kind of cool like that. I like it. But with the card trick, the original is done in 4 colors and a background. So if all this was the same, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, any colors you want. You could do purples and pinks or blues or salmons or aquas. In fact, I almost did an aqua in here. And then when I was looking through my Kimberbell bin of fabrics, these are all Kimberbell basics. The confetti was for a specific collection. And this little Swiss dot is a basic too. So I just chose 4 of the basic colors from the basic line. So I know those are available either at your local fabric shop if they carry Kimberbell fabric, or I know you can get them from online retailers like my girlfriend's Quilt Shop. And shop is spelled with 2 P's and an E, SHOPPE. Otherwise, you won't find their store. It's because it's got that old world spelling for shop. Anyway, so in this one, your 4 half square triangles are made with a background half and one of the 4 colors. So you're going to make 4 half square triangles, but each one of them will be different in that the second half is done in one of the 4 colors, okay? Whatever fabrics those happen to be. And like these are all prints. You could do them all solids if you wanted to as well. That would be perfectly okay. And then our 4 modified half square triangles. Now here is where I think the card trick gets a little fiddly. You know, I'm not about fiddly, but that's all right. We'll work it out. It's perfectly okay. What I would do in this case is in your pattern, you have a coloring sheet. Another good use for your coloring sheet is if you're adapting patterns and things and trying out different colors. Try to get mine out of my little sheet protector. Let me get my, here we go. There we go. Here's my coloring sheet. So what I would do, that's this block, okay? Because you've got your diamond in a square. However, we're going to talk about this in a minute, so let's not worry about this. What we're going to be mostly concerned about are these modified half square triangles. So what you want to do, and I would write this, and if you have yours available to you right now, or if you're like me, I always instantly like copy this sheet about 3 times. That way I'll always have a blank one in my pattern set, and then I can play with them. Now, what you want to do is your first color here. That is also going to be the bottom half of your modified half square triangle in the next block to the right. This top piece will always be your background fabric. And then this piece, this quarter of the modified, will be what I call the base color of your half square triangle here. So whatever half square triangle you put here, that piece right there is the same color. Then when you work into the next modified coming down, whatever this is, so is this. That it's that part of the modified half square triangle. Your background, this piece matches this half square triangle. When we move over, whatever this is background, and then you'll have one more color left. So whatever this is going to match this half square triangle. When you move up to the modified, this color matches this color, background, and then this color goes back to our first color. So I would do some little notations, or take out your color pencils. If you saw our quick and easy almost live on Friday at the end, I told you these are my favorite pencils to use when I'm working in my coloring sheets. They're the twistable Crayola colored pencils. They have a twistable crayon as well, but I like the colored pencils better. That's just my choice. Of course, you can use whatever you want, right? And they have 18 colors. They have a 24 color. And so you just twist the bottom and out comes your little lead, and then you can twist it back in. I love this. So you could take your colored pencils or crayons, whatever you use, and color these in, or put a color line there or something in these modified half square triangles that are in the pole positions, north, south, east, and west. And you will then have it easier. You'll have a little chart to make sure that you get these modifieds put together in the right positioning, because that's what can mess you up, is if you don't get these in the right place. All right. Now, for the traditional card trick, the center isn't the diamond in a square. Can it be? Sure, and we'll talk about that. But in the traditional, it is a quarter square triangle. Now, if you don't own the Build a Quilt Basics block set 1, why not? I mean, as a quilter, if you're wanting to do this, these are your base blocks. You really need to think about getting this set and the second set. That sets you up for success and change and modification in so many quilts and quilting patterns. I can't tell you how much. So I think about that seriously. Put that on the list. Maybe you need to save for it a little bit, whatever you need to do, but you need to have this Build a Quilt Block Basics set 1 and 2, because it's really what's going to help you with all the modifications in the quilts. Because you get in each set, these segments come in so many sizes, right? So if you already own Basic Block Set 1, look what's in there. It's the quarter square triangle, our friend. It is the second most often used block in quilting, behind the mama block, the half square triangle. And then I would say, just the square. We use that all the time as well. But because this pattern comes in an 8x8, a 9x9, and a 15x15 finished, those segment sizes are your 3, your 4, and your 5-inch. Well, guess what? This comes in a 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, and 5-inch. Yay! We've got what we need to make any of the sizes of this block into a card trick using those segments. I know. Isn't that great? I know, you guys. I know. I'm sitting there thinking, you guys are going to be so happy about that. I was happy about that. So now let's just talk about it. The quarter square triangle typically, I brought a little sample with me today, looks like this. Typically, top and bottom are the same, side to side are the same. It's done in 2 halves, that each half is a quarter and a quarter. Then with this one, because of the process of piecing in the hoop, this can't be finished in the hoop because of that wee little seam that comes together at that point. It messes up the whole thing, because I would piece 1, piece 2, piece 3. Oh, I'm good. But look, now on this one, I have an interior seam and I can't flip it. So that's all right though. We do it in 2 pieces. Put those pieces together. Use our guideline for seaming, just like we do with everything else. And boom, there's your quarter square triangle. Very, very easy to do. So I hasten to even say anything about it because it's really so easy. And there are some blocks that have to be done that way because they have those interior seams. We're going to be seeing more of those in the future because you guys are all experts at doing this now, unless you're brand new. And, I always tell you how to do the things at the most basic level so that everybody can be involved. But for those of you that have been with me now for over a year, and if you've been quilters forever, like I've been a quilter for over a handful of decades, more than that many decades. And so there are tons of blocks out there that have those interior seams. And in traditional quilting, can be a royal pain in your little old backside, right? Am I right? You guys know I'm right. I can't wait to hear your comments below that you hate that, because it's true. The interior seams, Y seams, whatever you call them, can be a royal pain. But with Build-A-Quilt, they really aren't a problem. They're just taking parts of segments and putting them together to create the full segment. Super simple. But typically your quarter square, again, is done in 2 colors. Does it have to be? No, of course not. So a quarter square triangle, you could do 3/4 of it all in one color and 1/4 in a completely different color if that's what your pattern calls for. And typically why that works that way is because it guides the color and the shape in your block, in your quilt. And this block is the perfect example of that. Having it red, yellow, green, and blue in the 4 quadrants shapes and guides the color to finish the card in each one of the 4 cards of the card trick. That's why that quarter square triangle is such an important block, because it really can help you shape and separate color and all of that kind of thing. So in this one, it's a 4-color quarter square triangle. Red, yeah, gold, green, and blue, and you would do it however your colors are. So what you need to do with this one is your top color, your one in the north position, needs to match this first card. The one in this side position, which would be, if you're looking at it, it would be the right side, needs to match card number 2. The one at the bottom, or the south position, needs to match card number 3. And the one, as you look at it on the left, will match card number 4. Okay, so again, on your coloring sheet, mark those out. And on your coloring sheet, you can draw a line through and through, an X from corner to corner and corner to corner, and create the look of that quarter square triangle so you can make notes. However, if you are going to use the diamond, which is great, let's talk about that. If you are going to use the diamond to create your card trick, there we go. Had to find a little pin. This is what you need to think about. I've done this in 2 colors. So this piece right here, that's this color, color number 1. This one right here, that's color number 2. So you would create this in this pattern. Everything would be just how I showed you here until you get to the center. Now, what the heck are you going to do with that, right? To make it look at least partially different. Well, let's look here. This quarter is the color of your 4th piece right here. So in the diamond, this bottom left piece of the diamond in a square should be your 4th color. This one should be your 1st color. This one should be your 2nd, and this one should be your 3rd. Now, is it going to look exactly like that? No, but it's going to look super duper close. And then what I would put in the center of your diamond in a square is your background fabric, whatever that is. And you can still have the most basic of card trick blocks. The card trick is really interesting because it comes in several variations. It's one of those blocks, it doesn't have a bazillion names so much, but it has a lot of variations. There's a card trick that has 6 cards. There's a card trick that has 8 cards. Boy, that's when you really need to get into the idea of charting your fabrics. So if coloring isn't ultimately helpful for you, if you're good with your fabrics and your fabric colors, use your coloring sheet for charting your colors for the layout to give yourself a guide, especially when you have blocks that get a little tricky, that have your colors have to match up to certain points in other blocks. It's really, really helpful for you. All righty. So if you're going to use the block as it is, which I can't wait to see one of these done as a card trick with this block, because I think if I had time, I would do one myself, because I think it will end up looking great that way. It'll look like this. but it will have more of this overall card trick effect. But the card trick itself, like I said, there are several variations of this block. There's one that I have, and I have somewhere here. Hang on just 1 second. Okay, this block is a card trick. But have you noticed that my colors don't match up the way these do? They don't match up. My center is just a solid square. But look what you see. Let's hang this one. Look what you see when you look at this version of the card trick. Now this block, so like this one is called a diamond and a cross. I call this one a campfire block because to me it looks like this would be your fire pit and you'd have everybody sitting around it here. But when I think of campfires, I think of sitting out with friends and family and just having a good old time, roasting hot dogs and marshmallows, making s'mores, all that kind of good stuff, or just sitting around talking. Maybe somebody's got a guitar and you guys are singing old songs. I mean, just that kind of fun, just outside in the summer kind of stuff that we love to do. So in this one, when I put it together, instead of matching it up so that the colors match up like they do here, I changed it up a little bit so that these 4 halves of the modified become a friendship star. Now, if you really wanted that friendship star to just pop out, you could do that same fabric in your solid square in the center. Or you could do it this way and then do your diamond in a square in the center. See how easy it is to play? It makes a real substantive change to what your block looks like, but it's all based on that little block right there. So these are all cousins of the card trick. I hope you enjoyed that. I would love to see you take this pattern and create it as a card trick using the diamond in a square, because I think you'll love it. That's that right there. Now, I'm going to post a photo of this in the community page so you can see this layout, okay? It'll be here on the channel in the community page, and I'm also going to be doing a blog about the card trick this week, so it will be in there as well, but you'll be able to see it for layout and color. But I would love to see you do it with this diamond in a square. I'm kind of excited to see what that could look like. Alrighty, so if you use the pattern as is, just match your 4 colors, 4 corners here up with your 4 corners of your block. Center should be your background. If you have basic block set 1, because 2 has the different sizes of the diamond and square. But if you have your basic block set 1, you have your quarter square triangle. You've got your video on that comes with this, so you know how to make it. And you can use that instead of the diamond in a square, and you can get the very traditional card trick block done. Okay? Just easy. Just substitute what you put in the middle. And if you feel really, really courageous, and I know you guys can do it. None of these are hard. They're just how you lay out your fabric. So again, make yourself some copies of the coloring sheet in the pattern and play with how you want to lay these fabrics out, because I'd love to see if any of you end up making the campfire block. It's one of my favorites. I really love it. I love it because I love the friendship star. Did you all know that the friendship star is also called the Mississippi star? You know, we talk about the Ohio star and the Texas star and lots of stars and things that are blocks that go with the different states. Well, that is also known as the Mississippi star. You might have known that, but if you didn't, there you go. There's your trivia for the day. All right, folks. So you can get your Build a Quilt Basics block 1 and 2, sets 1 or set 2 or both of them over at the website. You can get the diamond in a square pattern over at the website. You can subscribe to Quilt Lab, where you're going to get your patterns at no charge each month as part of the subscription. Plus, you get an extra bonus pattern every quarter, plus a free Zoom with me. Once a month, we do those free Zooms. And our first one's coming up on the 29th of February. So if you haven't signed up for Quilt Lab yet, you haven't missed it. It's coming up on the 29th of February on Leap Day. I love Leap Day. It's so fun. But all of those can be found over at the website. If you have any questions whatsoever, please contact me at support@sewuncommon.com. I'll get back with you absolutely as soon as I can. Typically, like within just a few minutes, if I see it come through and I'm not chopping vegetables for dinner, I'll go ahead and answer you. If it's on the weekend and we're gone, it might take me till the next day, but I always get back with you really as quickly as possible. And for this month, we're using the pattern in this. Oh, it's pinned there. Let's get that out of there. We are using it, we're calling it Spring Blossoms in this configuration. That information is out and available. It's from last week's Quilt Lab. I will add that link at the end of this video so you can see it. I still only have one block done. I know, I'm so sorry, guys. It's just been so stinking busy, and we had to be gone on Friday all day long. So I haven't done mine yet, but this week I'll be working on them. Now, you see behind me these two blocks. This is block 1 and block 2 of the Riley Blake Block Challenge. You can get your free Build-A-Quilt versions of those patterns to do them with your embroidery machine. That's right. We're going to do the challenge, but we're going to do it the Build-A-Quilt way with our embroidery machine. And those patterns are available over at the website as well. They're completely free to go with the free challenge from Riley Blake. And Thursday was our first video. I will link it at the end of this one as well in case you've missed it. Because every Thursday we do the Riley Blake Block Challenge. This coming Thursday, I am going to have 3 blocks for us. Number 3, 4, and 5. And then the next week we'll be doing block 6 and 7, and we'll be caught up with everybody else. And then we'll be at 1 block a week. I know that's a lot, but I want to get those done and get those patterns out there for you guys, because I don't want to keep you getting farther and farther behind, because we started a little bit later than the Riley Blake folks did, but that's okay. And then our Spring Blossoms pattern, I'll put that video up as well. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. You can see the kind of fun things we do, and there's always room for more people to quilt with the Build-A-Quilt system here in my studio with me, even if it's just in the 2D world and not the 3D world yet. We're working on getting it into the 3D world for sure. But please subscribe to the channel, and please do me a favor and like the videos and share them. If you like them, please share them as well. It really makes a difference getting those out to other people who might be looking for this very thing, or might just want to come and do it as something fun. Maybe they're a quilter and they also do embroidery, and they think, hey, maybe I'll do this occasionally too for my quilts. It's kind of how I started out, because I've always quilted, and I started building this system, and I started doing a few of my projects in this mode. Now I do all of my projects and my quilts in this mode. So please like and share. I'd certainly appreciate it. And we'd love to see you as a subscriber as well. Until next time, everybody, we'll see you Wednesday, where we are going to be doing the Churn Dash block. A very, very, very great block. Very beloved in the quilting world. Very old block. But we'll be doing that this week. And with that one, you're going to need Build-A-Quilt Basics 1 and 2. I'll just tell you right up front. You're going to need something from each one of those sets this week. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And until next time, please have a great and safe week, and go sew life beautiful. Bye, everybody.